Hello, this is Spartan Commander, and this is a 1016th Rome Total War Brotherhood game that I've put onto YouTube. And what a battle I've got for you today. You'll see this is fought on one of our more popular custom maps here. Everybody seems to like this map, where you've got the big open plains. Look, if you want to go and fight out in the open, okay. So the big open plains, but also you've got the woods as well. If you want to bring barbarians for the woods bonus, or if you want to hide your troops for those, you know, to spring those nasty ambushes as well. It's got quite a bit on this map, but also there's a bit of higher ground here as well by the side of the rock. And you'll see that players try to form up on that higher ground, so if they're attacked, the enemy have to come up the kind of slope there to attack them. You'll see that it kind of slopes up to the higher ground on both sides of the rock, okay? But also, this rock has got a mystery about it as well, okay? Actually, did you know that you can hide troops in a certain place around this rock? I bet most players that come onto this map and play in this map don't realise that there's a hiding place around that rock. Once again, that there's the big open spaces, and as I say, you've got the woods there if you want to bring barbarian troops for the woods bonus, or if you want to just hide your troops and spring those nasty ambushes. Okay, so our first teammate is RTW player Varus. Now he's got 10 pikes, 4 Aurelian mercenaries and 6 cavalry. Okay, now you could suggest here that this could be an unusual army build. Can you see he's only got 6 upgrades on his pikes? Now remember, we've looked at Macedonian Royal Pikemen in the past, and we know that the optimum upgrades for Macedonian pikemen are 8 upgrades, 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack. And the simple reason for that is because Macedon's morale's not very good. So giving them veteran stripes or experience stripe really increases you know, their morale. So having just gold shield, gold attack on his pikes, I would suggest would be unusual. I don't know what all of you would be thinking. Please put your thoughts in the comments about that. Also, as I say, he's got his Aurelian mercenaries there that can throw those spears. Can you see the spears they've got in their hands? So they're kind of missile troops there. So that's handy to have, like, to throw at the enemy troops when they get close to his pikemen. But the reason that he hasn't spent a lot of money on his pikes is because, of course, he has fully upgraded his cavalry. So his companion cavalry have got 9 upgrades on, 3 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack. Remember, we call these guys the winged horsemen because of the wings on their helmets. And remember, they've got that massive 9 charge bonus. And remember, the charge bonus is the impact and penetration a unit can do. And as I say, he's fully upgraded them. But what I would ask you here, would 6 fully upgraded companion cavalry make up for 10 pikes with just gold shield, gold attack on? Well, I guess we'll see as the battle unfolds. Okay, our next teammate is someone who's called himself Chinny Poo, but is of course Scorpion King SR. Now he's only got 8 infantry, 3 light auxiliary, 2 dog units and 5 cavalry. Now I would suggest this is a very unusual Roman army build. I don't know what all of you are thinking there. You'll see that most of his infantry have got 7 upgrades on, an experience stripe, gold shield, gold attack. I noticed one of his units has only got gold shield, gold attack on, and I suggest that that could be a pilot shield unit there. So his infantry have got gold shield, gold attack on, and then he's got his light auxiliary there, missile troops, where he's got 4 upgrades on. I'm probably thinking gold defense and maybe a bronze attack there. They'll probably make up his pilot shield. And then he's got the dog unit here, the war dog unit, very unusual to see on a 31k battlefield, but something you might not know is that they bring a fear factor. It's only a small fear factor, but they do bring a fear factor, which tells me his cavalry, yeah, it's going to be really well upgraded. He's got 8 upgrades on his cavalry, 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack. So, as I say, quite an unusual Roman army build there, and it'll be interesting to see how well he does with that during the course of the battle. Our next teammate is Brotherhood member Fesen with his faction of choice Carthage, and he's bought his standard 31k army of 16 Sacred Band spearmen and 3 light infantry. Okay, so as I say, that's Fesen's faction of choice. And somebody said to me the other day they thought Fesen was the best player on RTW with the Carthage faction, and I must say he has got very good with them. And our last teammate is myself. Spartan Commander has got his usual very old army of 14 infantry and 5 cavalry. So actually we've got a reasonably diverse team with Varus with Macedon, Scorpion King with Rome, Fesen with Carthage, and myself with Rome. As I say, it's got the potential to be a really great battle. Hope you enjoy it. And here is the other team. We have brother member Cormac the Cruel, and Cormac has got the bog standard 31k Roman army of 14 infantry and 6 cavalry. Okay, if you notice there, he's got a very tight cavalry formation there. But as I say, the bog standard 31k Roman army, 14 infantry and 6 cavalry. And the reason it is the bog standard 31k Roman army is so effective and so efficient. Our next teammate is Brotherhood member Spitfyr. Now he's got 12 infantry, 2 auxiliary and 6 cavalry. Okay, so he's got 12 heavy infantry, 2 auxiliary and 6 cavalry. There's his light auxiliary there. Obviously they throw those pilers at the enemy troops, and he's got an urban cohort there to kind of back up those 2 units there as his pilot shield unit. Notice it's a wide battle formation, old school, not much depth. But can you see that you can't see his cavalry? Okay, you can't see Spitfyre's cavalry anywhere on the battlefield there. Now, do you remember I told you earlier there's a mysterious hiding place around this rock where you can hide units? And that particular place is just there. Okay, you can hide your units just there if you want. And I bet most players that play on this map never knew that. Okay, but Spitfyr has found that out, and that's where he's got his 6 cavalry hiding behind the rock there. Okay, so I just thought I'd show you that. You might find that quite interesting, that the rock has a mystery place to hide your troops. Okay, their next teammate is Brotherhood member Vidar. Now Vidar's got 13 infantry, 1 peasant and 5 cavalry. Okay, 13 infantry, 1 peasant, 5 cavalry. But also, just like to show you in his army build, he has got 2 morale boosting eagle units there. So he's got 2 additional morale boosting units there. Plus he's got his infantry general as well. So he's got 3 lots of morale going on with his infantry there. And I always like to say really well done that, because I think the more morale you've got in your army, the more longer it's going to fight. And there you are, you've got a peasant unit there. Now if you notice how he's positioned that peasant unit so that a few of the peasants are just stuck out the front of his urban cohort pilot shield units there. That's so that those peasants, hopefully from his point of view, are going to take the expensive pilers into the most cheap unit in the game. Okay, and their last teammate is SPQR clansman Neezgrove. Okay, now Neezgrove has got 10 infantry and 6 cavalry. Okay, so just to let you know that he's gone for quality, okay, quality over quantity, because his 10 infantry have all got 7 upgrades on an experienced stripe, gold shield, gold attack, and his cavalry have all got 8 upgrades on, 2 experienced stripes, gold shield, gold attack. So as I say, of course they're all hiding in the woods there. So as I say, he's gone for quality, a smaller army, but he's gone for quality over quantity. So it'll be interesting to see how well he does during the course of the battle. Okay, at this very, very early stage of the battle here, it wouldn't surprise me if you saw Spitfyr move forward a little bit there. And there you are, you can see him moving forward a little bit. Whether he's going to form up on that higher ground, there you are. There's that hiding spot we talked about earlier that a lot of players on this map don't know about there. The hiding spot behind the rock. Okay, Spitfyre's found it there. You can see there you are. Can you see his cavalry now has completely disappeared? And there you are. They've just reformed there behind the rock. So as I say, I bet a lot of players watching this battle video had no idea that you could hide troops behind the rock there. So well found out there by Spitfyr. I didn't even know that that was a hiding spot there until I watched this battle replay. Okay, so over here on our right flank and the enemy left flank here, you'll see Vidar facing Scorpion King. We know that both of these players are extremely aggressive, and it wouldn't surprise me if they locked horns there. But remember that Scorpion King has only got 8 infantry, 8 heavy infantry. That's all he's got. Okay, they've got 7 upgrades on, but he's only got 8 of them. Okay, so over here on our left flank, you'll see that Fesen is in the woods, and I've just moved over from the left flank here into the woods there with Fesen there. But you will see that Scorpion King and Varus, I think the original battle plan was that they were going to come up here and join us in this area. But we'll see whether now, see, can you see that the battle plan has now changed? And I think I remember, if I remember correctly, Scorpion King saying to Varus, come on, let's attack there. So as you can see them moving forward. And make no mistake here, Vidar will counter that attack. As I say, we know Vidar is a very aggressive player, and he's probably had a look at Scorpion King's infantry and thinks, well, he's got more infantry than Scorpion King, so he's got an advantage. Right, can you see that Vidar's cavalry is now attacking Scorpion King's cavalry there? As I say, very aggressive move by both of them here. And you can see Vidar moving his SPQR troops down towards Varus' pikemen there. But as I say, remember, Scorpion King's only got 8 infantry. And here you can see his well-upgraded cavalry. Now remember that Scorpion King's cavalry have got 8 upgrades on, 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack. Okay, so you've got all of Vidar's infantry and cavalry moving down there. You've got Spitfyer's cavalry coming down, and you've got Neezgrove's infantry and cavalry involved as well. So there's a lot of enemy troops there heading down towards Varus and Scorpion King. And here you'll see that Cormac is moving his infantry down as well. His cavalry are already on the way there to help his allies. So as I say, a lot of enemy troops moving down towards our 2 allies. So I spotted Cormac moving down. So what we've suggested here is that Fesen pin and hold Spitfyer's infantry there, and I'll move my entire army down to the right there to try and counter Cormac's army there. As I say, as you can see, he's clearly moving down towards our allies' armies there. Okay, so as I say, moving my army there to try and counter Cormac. But Scorpion King here being very aggressive as always, and he just got hit by that SPQR cavalry. Look, and bang! As that cavalry smashes in there. Oh my gosh, and just that cavalry unit's going in there, come bang! And another one going in there, and bang! As he smashes in there. Oh my gosh. And now you can see Cormac's infantry coming into the fray as well. And you can see that Cormac's got a downhill advantage. Okay, so his cavalry plus his infantry will have the downhill advantage into Scorpion King's troops there. So that is a big advantage there. And you can see that Vidar is moving on down the map there with his infantry, like towards the Macedonians. Right, here comes my green Brutii army here, as I say, brought over to try and counter Cormac's army. And as I say, you can see Scorpion King's red Julia army. He may well now start to concentrate on Cormac's army. Oh my gosh, the dogs have been released. See the dogs attacking the enemy cavalry there. And you can see that one cavalryman there has been killed. Just wanted to show you this. Can you read the writing there, look? If you read the writing, see what it says. The dogs are attacking. Read the writing. Frightened by dogs. Okay, so that means that there is a small fear factor with the war dogs. And remember, when units are frightened, their morale has lowered and they can be more susceptible to routing. So as I say, war dogs has got a fear factor, and you can see there that the cavalry are frightened by dogs. Look at these two, look like they're attacking the horse there, don't they? Those 2 dogs. And that spear there looks like he's ready to thrust it into those dogs there. So I say the dogs have been released. But you can see that my green Bruta army is now approaching Cormac's purple SPQR army there. Okay, so I'm trying to relieve the pressure from Scorpion King there by hitting Cormac's army. You'll notice that Varus, his SPQR army, is moving away from Cormac's. Okay, notice how he's moving away. So we've got Scorpion King's army and my army here to hit Cormac. Now, there you are, you can see, as I say, Varus moving off down the hill. Right, so over here you'll see that Neezgrove's cavalry with his 8 upgrades. Remember, he's got 8 upgrades on his Praetorian cavalry, are looking to hit the Macedonian cavalry of Varus. So that could be an interesting scrap down there. You can see that those Irillian mercenaries looks like they're going to get taken out by Neezgrove's cavalry there. You can see them charging in. There, it's been routed. That unit's been routed. You can see Neezgrove bringing his infantry over there. And as I say, Varus has gone a long way down the hill here. Now here, as I say, you can see Cormac is going to get hit by possibly 3 of us there. See my green Brutii infantry charging in there. You've got Scorpion King's red Julii troops. And of course, you've got a lot of Varus's pikes there as well. So kind of, if you look at the overall battle picture, can you see Cormac looks a little bit isolated, doesn't he? If you look how far away he is from his allies, quite isolated there. Meanwhile, over here, you'll see that Fesen's Carthaginians are attacking Spitfyre's infantry. As I said before, Spitfyre's infantry there, old school, wide battle formation, not much depth. Okay, you can see, you know, modern Roman battle formation have got a lot of depth, but this is an old school battle formation, wide with not much depth, and this allows him to get units in behind Fesen's Carthaginian units here. Even here, look, you could get these 2 units in behind. That's the advantage of a width formation when they're fighting spears or pikes. And you can see that Fesen's already lost a lot of his troops to pilot hits there. You can see the dead there lying in the long grass there from the pilot hits there. So it'll be interesting to see what happens up in that particular area. But as I say, down here you'll see that Neezgrove's Praetorian cavalry, with their 8 upgrades, are fighting the companion cavalry that are fully upgraded. Notice that they both alt-attacked and are using their heavy swords there. Okay, remember the heavy swords do more damage in melee than the light spears. There you can see more cavalry charging. See that companion cavalry charging there with their 9 charge bonus. Look, and bang, as they smash in there. But you can see Neezgrove's Praetorian cavalry still holding. Right, so meanwhile over here, you'll see that we are attacking, really aggressively attacking Cormac's purple SPQR army there. You can see my green Brutii troops. You can see Scorpion King's cavalry charging in there like a bang. Now here's something interesting that I thought I'd show you. Can you see that Cormac's lost his battle formation? Okay, when you lose a unit from your battle formation and you try and move in that battle formation, very often you lose that battle formation, and RTW puts your units in these long kind of formations here, which makes them very, very weak. You know, in that type of formation. So unfortunately for Cormac there, he's lost his battle formation, and RTW has put his infantry into those long lines, which as I say, are very weak. So you can see that we're hitting him there with Julii cavalry. You can see my green infantry moving in. Can you see that blue Scipii cavalry looks about like it's going to charge in there? So here you'll see that Varus is moving his companion cavalry away from the fight there, which is a good move, because don't forget you've got Neezgrove and Varus's cavalry plus infantry there as well. But as I say, you can see Cormac now is a little bit isolated here, and we're going to take full advantage of that. Meanwhile, over here, you'll see, as we thought, can you see that Spitfyr has taken his infantry units from his wide battle formation, looking to get in behind the enemy troops, maybe even go for the Carthaginian general there. You might even take those 2 round from that flank. And if you look at the other flank as well, it looks like he attempted to flank on that side as well, but you can see that Fesen has countered that with his spearmen there. But meanwhile over here, poor old Cormac, his purple SPQR troops look like they're about to be smashed and crashed. Right, can you see the blue Scipii cavalry charging in of Spitfyrs? Look, and bang, as he smashes in there, trying to help Cormac. But you can see there that we're really pushing in. Can you see my cavalry about to charge in there as well? Watch Scorpion King's red Julii cavalry. He turns his cavalry and attacks at the same time, and we're going in there like a bang, as we both smash into Cormac's infantry. You'll see that I am now moving my infantry forward in an old school surge attack. Can you see my infantry and cavalry there working hand in hand, and Scorpion King's Julii cavalry all helping to rout a lot of, if not all, of Cormac's infantry there. Right, okay, so just let you know that all of Cormac's infantry, including his general, has just been routed there. Okay, So it was a good combination attack. I've got my green Brutii army, you've got Scorpion King's red Julii army, and of course we've got Varus's pikes, all pushing in on Cormac's infantry there that has caused them to rout. Okay, but you can see both Varus and Neezgrove here starting to move towards us now. So I'm guessing now that we're going to move maybe away from them up onto possibly the higher ground. Okay, but don't forget that Cormac's still got his cavalry left here. And if he uses it tactically, he could cause a lot of damage in this battle, as you will see. Okay, so watch for Cormac's purple SPQR cavalry. See which direction he goes in with his cavalry. Right, so here you can see, as I say, Varus moving his infantry up towards our armies there, backed up by Neezgrove. Okay, Scipio army there. Make no mistake, there will be a heck of a lot of pilers being thrown into those Macedonians. Right. So as I said, Cormac's cavalry now are moving over towards helping Spitfyr against our Carthaginian ally. Get ready for this. And bang! As he smashes in to poor old Fesen's engaged spearmen there that have been fighting for a long time. He could rout a couple of those units. There you are. Can you see those units there on the end of Fesen's battle line have been routed? And so these Scipii infantry here can now start attacking the spearmen from the flank. I'm guessing that that Cormac's going to pull his cavalry back and then charge them back in. He's going to pull them back, lock and load them, and then charge them back in. Over on this flank, you can see that a nice move here by Fesen. He's got his Carthage unit in behind those Scipii units there. Nice move there. So what I need to do really is to get my cavalry up there to help Fesen to kind of counter Cormac's cavalry. Okay, so that's what I need to do. And Scorpion King's got his cavalry there as well. But at the moment we're kind of concentrating on this particular part of the battle here. You can see that both Neezgrove and Vidar there are pulling their units back. Okay, now if you notice there, they've got a lot of cavalry. Okay, and towards the end of the battle, you'll notice that they've got a cavalry advantage, which could prove quite decisive. There you are. Can you see all those pilers, those armor-piercing pilers being thrown into the Macedonians? You'll see that my forward piler shield units there are throwing pilers back at the enemy troops, probably hitting that peasant unit that was at the front of Vidar's battle formation. Okay, but meanwhile here, I'm looking to take my cavalry over there to help Fesen there, because make no mistake, Fesen's been getting a battering there. He's been fighting for a long time, so his troops will be tired, and the last thing he needs is cavalry smashing into the rear of his engaged troops right there. Can you see my green Brutii cavalry coming over to help? Right, see that SPQR cavalry going into the back of Fesen, and bang! As he smashes in there. Right, you can see my green Brutii cavalry now charging in to Cormac's cavalry there. Okay, and you'll see that Scorpion King's red Julii cavalry are coming up here as well. Okay, now if we play this carefully, we could take out all of Spitfyr's infantry here. Now remember, we've already taken out all of Cormac's infantry. If we can take out all of Spitfyr's infantry here, whoa, what an advantage we would have. Okay, so remember that Spitfyr's infantry are the blue Scipii. Okay, and you can see a lot of them routing now, if not all of them. I think we've basically taken out all of Spitfyr's infantry as well. Okay, although, no, I can see his general still alive there. But you can see the majority, and you can see Scorpion King's trying to kill the general with his red Julii cavalry there, and he's got another unit there. But the vast majority of Spitfyr's infantry has now been taken out. So bearing in mind that we've taken Cormac's infantry out, and now Spitfyr's infantry, things are looking good for us. Would you agree here? I think things are looking pretty good for us here. So you can see us now moving back a little bit here onto the, if you like, the higher or flatter ground. It looks quite flat there, doesn't it, really? So we're moving back there, but you can see, if I remember correctly, both Vidar and Neezgrove are going to be very aggressive in this battle. Right, can you see that SPQR cavalry coming into my infantry there? You can see it charging in, and bang, it smashes into the forward units of my battle formation there. Once again, very aggressive there by Vidar. So you can see Vidar's army basically untouched, really. Right now you see me throwing a lot of armor piercing pilers into the enemy ranks there. and make no mistake, they will be replying as well. But I'm trying to cause as many casualties as I can, because I noticed that their units are in close, tight formation there, most of them, and so they're going to suffer a lot of casualties from the pilots. That's why we have units in open order in front of our battle formations. Units in open order suffer less damage. Right, here you'll see I'm going to change the direction, change the trajectory, if you like, of my infantry to face a threat coming in on my left front there, as you can see. And they've got all this cavalry here, and as I say, towards the end of the battle you will notice that they have a cavalry advantage. Okay, so whether that would be decisive or not, we just have to wait and see. But watch my green Brutii infantry change its battle position here, okay, to face the main threat. You can see the enemy are looking to come in on the left forward part of my battle formation there, so I need to turn my battle formation, there you are, to face that major threat. Right, see Scorpion King's Red Julii infantry moving towards the enemy cavalry, and bang! And make no mistake, they've got the downslope advantage there. The enemy cavalry has got the downslope advantage into Scorpion King's infantry there. Nice aggressive hit there by Spitfyr. Right, you can see I'm counter-attacking with my green Brutii cavalry there. And you'll see that Vidar here is moving some of his SPQR infantry in on the right flank of Scorpion King. So I'm turning my cavalry now to face that threat. You can see, oh my gosh, can you see SPQR cavalry, SPQR infantry coming in? You can see Spitfyr cavalry coming in on us as well. Oh my gosh. Now, could this be a pivotal part of the battle? Okay, what's going to happen here? Could this prove pivotal? We'll just have to wait and see. But you can see a lot of enemy troops closing in on us there. Meanwhile, over here, you will see that both Neezgrove and Vidar's infantry are holding and pinning my green Brutii infantry. You will see that Varus is moving his pikemen through my infantry, okay, to attack the enemy infantry that are attacking the forward units of my battle formation. Okay, but over here on our left flank, there's a lot going on here. See the enemy cavalry charging in, using that downslope advantage. I can't tell you how much that gives them an extra charge bonus there, coming down that slope into our troops. You can see several of Scorpion King's infantry are already routing there. Okay, you can see Scorpion King charging his cavalry into that SPQR infantry and cavalry there. But look at the enemy cavalry coming in behind him there. That Spitfyr cavalry coming in there as well. Oh my gosh. Right. So really bad news for us. Scorpion King's general has just been routed. So we've lost the general morale bonus of Scorpion King there. And you can see all this enemy cavalry and infantry there are starting to take out all of Scorpion King's infantry and cavalry there. Okay, and you can see a heck of a lot of enemy SPQR infantry in there as well. And you can see that my infantry and Varus's pikes there are taking a very aggressive attack by the enemy troops. But as I said, what happens here on our left flank maybe could be a decisive or pivotal part of the battle. Right, I'm charging my cavalry, and I said to Fesen, spears up. As I'm charging in there, obviously I don't want to charge through spearmen with their spears down, because remember, friendly spearmen with their spears down kill friendly cavalry going through them. Right, can you see they're counter-attacking my cavalry? You'll see I routed a few enemy units there with my cavalry charge there. I need to get my cavalry out of there now, because I can see both infantry and cavalry attacking my cavalry there, so I need to pull them out. There, right, let's just pause the game for a second here. So here you can see Vidar getting infantry in behind Fesen's spearmen there. Nice move there by Vidar. All the time here aggressively attacking my infantry and Varus's pikemen there. Little bit of a skirmish going over on our right flank. Now, this is bad news for us as well. Varus's general has just been routed, so we've lost the general morale bonus of Varus there, as well as Scorpion King. So we've lost two of our generals' bonuses there, and that cavalry of Neezgrove could get behind, maybe looking to smash in to the rear of my infantry. But here, just look at this grinding battle here between infantry and infantry, and there you'll see that Varus has got his pikes in there, and see how his pikes are keeping the enemy troops away in certain parts there from my infantry. So nice bit of support there by Varus with his Macedonian pikes. But as I say, over here on the left flank, watch what happens here. As I said, this could be a pivotal and decisive moment over on this part of the battlefield. Remember that Fesen's infantry have been fighting all the way through the battle right from the start, so they're going to be exhausted. Their battle proficiency is going to drop off the side of a cliff. Their morale will be extremely low, making them very susceptible to rout him. Okay, and you can see here Vidar getting troops in behind. Oh my gosh, this is good news for us. We've managed to kill the Spitfyr general. So Neezgrove's general has now been killed, taking the morale bonus away from their troops. So that's good news for us. Now over here, I thought this was unusual. Vidar's general unit there, okay, is chasing that light auxiliary unit. And if you read the writing, can you see pursuing? Can you see that? Pursuing. So that general unit there is charging after that Julia unit. So the further he gets away from his troops, look, there's no general morale bonus at all for his troops now because he's too far away. So that's unfortunate for them. But as I say, over on this left flank here, watch that Carthage army of Fessens. Remember, I think they're all exhausted. They're very battle damaged. They're either very tired or exhausted. They've been fighting all the way through the battle. And I would think that if Fesen's army is fully routed there, then that could be the end of the battle. Here comes the cavalry. There goes that cavalry charging in there. And bang! Oh, right. Okay, so the Carthage general's just been killed. Okay, the Carthage general's just been killed, so there's no general morale bonus going on here. And look at the Carthaginians. They're completely surrounded by enemy troops. Completely surrounded there. Meanwhile, here you can see what I've decided to do, I can see the danger on our left flank, so I'm doing an old school, old-fashioned surge attack. Okay, now you've got to get the timing right, and you don't just surge once, you surge over and over again. Okay, it's old school, it's old-fashioned, you don't see it used that much these days, but look at the surge. Look, can you see my troops penetrating, trying to penetrate the enemy troops there? Surge after surge attack here. As I say, old school, old fashioned. You don't see it that often these days. And there you are. Can you see my troops are gradually moving forward into the enemy infantry? Surge after surge I'm doing here to try and take a bit of pressure off our left flank. Right, pause the game for a second here. So you can see I am trying to break through there. But sadly, over here on our left flank, oh my gosh. Poor old Fesen's infantry completely surrounded and just received a final blow of the cavalry there, like a bang. Oh my gosh. Right, so all of Fesen's army has now been routed, and all these enemy troops, all these victorious enemy troops with high morale now, because they've routed the Carthaginians, will now come into us. Okay, so as I say, that could have been, you might have just watched a decisive, pivotal part of the battle. Okay, just on our left flank. Okay, so that is, you know, as I say, could prove decisive. As I say, I'm still surging forward with my troops here. As I said, I was trying to take a bit of pressure off the left flank. They're hoping that they would bring reinforcements over from the left flank, but it's too late now. You can see Varus's pikes moving into the enemy troops as well. Okay, but all those enemy troops there that have just taken out Carthage, make no mistake, their morale will be, even though they're tired and exhausted, they would have had a little morale boost there through seeing all of the Carthaginians routed there. Okay, so it'll be interesting to see what's going to happen here. Are they going to attack us, or are we going to attack them? Now, if you notice here, they're on slightly higher ground. Can you see that? They are on slightly higher ground there. Now, that could give them the advantage, maybe. We just have to wait and see. But don't forget that Vidar's infantry will be very tired and exhausted as well. He's been fighting all the way through the battle. The cavalry, the Spitfyr cavalry, have been charging in and out, so they'll be tired as well. I think all the units in this battle that are left are really tired. Right, there's a Spitfyr cavalry charging in there, and bang! He was hoping for a mass rout there. He was hoping to get my Brutii infantry to start mass routing with that cavalry hit. But my infantry held there, and with the help of Varus's pikes. Right, now, what I'm going to do is another old school, old-fashioned surge attack, but I've got to wait for the right time. Okay, when it comes to surge attacks, you've got to wait for the right time, and that's what I'm going to do. You can see Varus putting his pikes in as well. So what I've got to do is try and get the timing right. I've got a couple of rallied cavalry units that have come back as well, so I'm pleased about that. But as I say, watch out for the old school, old-fashioned surge attack that I'm going to put in there, and I've got to try and get the timing right. Okay, now great support here by Varus there. You can see him moving his pikes in to the enemy SPQR troops. Okay, you can see them moving in. So I'm just, as I say, I'm just waiting for the right time. Oh, I can see that Scorpion King's red Julii infantry unit that's exhausted there. He's rallied, so that's good. Okay, but just watch my Brutii troops. I'm just waiting for the right time, okay, for the surge attack. Just get ready to watch that. You can see, as I say, Scorpion King coming. Right, watch my green Brutii infantry. I'm now going to surge forward there. You see, I'm surging forward with Varus's pikes there in there as well. And watch the enemy troops, I think, going to start to mass rout there with that surge attack, helped by the pikes. There, can you see? And it looks like our team has managed to go on to win the battle there. So what a tough battle that was. So I think we just about managed to edge that battle there. As I say, you can see one red Julii unit left of Scorpion Kings. Now over here, of course, this is where Fesen was fighting Spitfyr's infantry, and then we got a lot of enemy cavalry and our cavalry over here as well, and took out most, if not all, of Spitfyr's infantry there. But you can see a lot of dead cavalry and infantry there. So that was a real kind of battle in its own right there, as we saw. As we move across there, you can see there's other little battles going on over there. If we move right down over here, remember this is where the fully upgraded cavalry of the Macedonians were fighting the well upgraded cavalry of the Scipii troops there, and SPQR cavalry as well. So that's why you can see mostly all cavalry dead there, with Macedonian cavalry, as I say, fully upgraded, fighting both, I think it was Scipii and SPQR cavalry there. Over here you can see more casualties. That's the Aurelian mercenaries there, got taken out from what I can see of the bodies. Over here you can see this is where Cormac got taken out here in this area. See all the purple SPQR dead bodies laying in the long grass. As I say, remember that's where we, Scorpion King, myself and Varus, hit Cormac really hard there and took his army out. As we move further up the battlefield here, you can see all the dead here as well. You see all that dead infantry and cavalry there. Oh my gosh, just look at that amount of dead there. As I say, very, very concentrated dead. And over here, look, you can see even more concentrated dead. This is where Fesen's infantry was finally taken out by massive infantry and cavalry attack by enemy troops. Or just look at the dead there. I mean, you can see how concentrated they are. You can always tell where the toughest part of the battle was just by the biggest piles of dead there. And they were, as I say, I think Scorpion King's got maybe one, or he might have had 2 units left if I remember correctly at the end of the battle. Maybe 1 or 2 units left. I think there was another unit. Yeah, there's another unit over here, an auxiliary unit. So at the end of the battle, Scorpion King had 2 units left. I'm not sure, but I think all of Fesen's army was completely taken out. I think that all of Fesen, he might have had a unit left somewhere, but I think the vast majority of his army was taken out there. And if you notice here, do you remember we saw that SPQR general unit that was pursuing an auxiliary unit? There, Vidar's general unit there, still alive there. So I think what we need to do now is maybe go up to triple speed. There we are, as really it is the end of the battle now, isn't it? And you'll see we'll attack the general there of Vidar. Watch the Macedonians charge forward with the spears up. They just hit him with the sword. Look, bang, straight in there. And then they put the pikes down once they've made contact with him. You can see I've got some of my Brutii infantry in there as well. And we're just pushing forward there. And there you are. I managed to, I think that's the last of the enemy units there. And as I say, we just about managed to go on to win the battle. So, do you think it'd be a close victory? What do you reckon? Okay, so the first thing I'd like to say is really well done to everybody in the game. I thought everybody played really well there, so well done, guys. And I thought it was going to be a close victory, but you can see it's just average there. Did you think it would be close? Looking at the units that were left, I thought it would be close, so he must have just scraped in to average. Highest kills in the game goes to Brotherhood member Spitfyr. Nice kills there for him. And I would suggest unusual to have the highest kills in the losing team. So well done to Spitfyr there. His very aggressive attacking ways that he did there got him some good kills. So well done to him. So well done to SPQR Neezgrove. There got over 1,000 kills. So well done to him. Well done to Vidar. Very aggressive as always. Got some good kills there. Well done. As I say, well done to Spitfyr. Highest kills in the game. Well played to him. I think Cormac could be a bit disappointed he got less than 1,000 kills, but he was a little bit isolated and he was smashed and crashed there, wasn't he? So bearing in mind about that, he got some good kills there, really. So well done, guys. My kills, I'm very pleased with that. And if you notice, what a coincidence. Can you see I got 1,617 and men remaining 617 as well. That's, I would suggest, very unusual, and what a coincidence there. Well done to Fesen, got some good kills there with his Carthage army there. Held Spitfyr really well, even though he's been hit by cavalry in the rear. Well done to Scorpion King, got over 1,000 kills. He did well. And well done to Varus with his pikes, got some good kills and had a lot of troops left at the end of the battle. Now, what about faction advantage here? So we had Rome, Carthage, Rome and Macedon. There, quite a good combination. They have 4 Romes. So do you think that either team had a faction advantage there? Please put your thoughts in the comments about this battle. It's always nice to read what you think about our battles like. You know, it's always interesting. The Spartan Commander saying bye for now.